Welcome to the Tiny House Ideas podcast.
Obviously, like you said, the main sort of thing that you've been working on, that you've done, was a bike ride around the UK with ET. So sort of give me a bit of a background. What was the idea behind it? What was it for?
So this is how I met Zach.
Yeah, okay.
To begin with, so I worked with Zach in Waitrose, stacking shelves, which, as it goes, isn't the most exciting of jobs, let's be honest. And I think this is something that really resonates with people. And, if you've got, a career or something you enjoy, or you're still at uni, you might not get this feeling. But after, a few years of working some really boring jobs, you have this need for some escapism and do something exciting. And on return home from my travels, obviously with COVID hit, I couldn't go anywhere. So I'm sort of stacking shelves day after day, and obviously the madness unfolds. I mean, I had a woman come in who wanted to buy 20 cans of baked beans, and we said, no, you can't buy that. And so she started throwing them at the security guard's head. We had a woman come up with her umbrella up inside as her 2-meter boundary, and all these things are funny. You're sort of watching this go by, and sort of month and month went by at Waitrose, and I've sort of lost this feeling that I would be going off again. And I held hope of hopefully going on a trip. And sort of winter was settling in. I knew I didn't have a lot of time. And we actually went to Wetherspoons. We're sitting in a pub, and all great ideas.
All great ideas, and with a pint.
In a pub.
Yeah.
So we're having a drink, and some friends from Waitrose, they turned to me and showed me a video of a guy called Chris Brannigan. So Chris Brannigan, he has a daughter called Hasty with a rare genetic condition. And to try save her and to sort of like create a gene therapy for the condition, he walked barefoot from Land's End to John O'Groats. So he walked 700 miles on his bare feet, sort of like ripping through his feet. It was horrendous. Don't look it up. It'll give you nightmares. Ripped through his feet, wearing full gear, sleeping in a little one-man tent. And I saw the sort of video right at the end when he'd finished and sort of put Hasty in his arms. And although I'd had a few drinks at that point, I was just sort of captivated by it. And I said, I'm going to do something to help. And I think waking up the next morning, I was a bit less sure at that point. But I really believe if you have told more than 3 people about something, you have to stick to it. You kind of lose face. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, right, I'll come up with something. And after a few days, the image I couldn't get out of my mind. I had this image of someone, a bit sad, like 2 meters away from someone, kind of confused of what's going on, sitting in a coffee shop. It's pouring down rain outside. They're like, having a bad day. And then suddenly, out of the window, they look out, and ET flies by. And I'm just thinking, how could you ignore that? How could you, have a bad day after that? Just bring that sort of magic back and break up that thought pattern. Yeah. And that was what I would do. So I wanted to make a difference to these children, and I wanted to make people smile at the same time. So that idea was born, and literally within 2 weeks, I was setting off.
Amazing. What an awesome idea. So was it the same for you then? Did you go the whole 700 miles through the country?
So I did a slightly different route. In hindsight, I should have come home. I left from home, but I think it would have been cool to go ET's going home. Like it would have worked better. Yeah. But I ended up doing a route from home in Godalming, or Guildford Way, if anyone knows Guildford, down to Dover, and then from Dover across down to Land's End. So it's about a 600-mile route. Bearing in mind, I hadn't cycled for 3 years. I was originally going to walk, and I was like, right, I've got no time. It's winter setting in. Let's just go with the bike. I dug my mountain bike out of the shed. It's not designed for the road. I had none of the gear. I had no money to spend on it. ET's crate was a fruit and veg tray from Waitrose that I spray painted white. I cable tied and bungee corded everything on, whacked a little one-man tent that cost me 15 quid off eBay, and set off with 2 weeks. No training, nothing. And it's sort of cycling through treacle, but we managed to get there.
Amazing. Well, that is the magic of it. That is the magic of just sort of having that idea and wanting to make a difference and being able to explore it that way, and obviously raise some money as well.
I think it was great, and I think I didn't realize how good it would feel to do something like that until I'd sort of set off. And I think the longer I went on the road, the more people I chatted to, and sort of relating to other people that are in similar situations, parents with children with rare diseases, it meant more to me. And the more difficult patches I went through, and having to kind of get through that and go like sort of analyze why, like, I'm facing a storm, like, why should I go out today? The meaning, it grew on me. It really did.
Thanks for watching this little teaser for the Tiny House Ideas podcast. If you'd like to listen to the full episode, it's available on all major streaming platforms. So that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all of the others. Alternatively, if you'd rather watch it sort of in a video format like this video has been, then that's available on Patreon. Just search for Tiny House Ideas. So thanks again for watching. Please do check out the full episode, and thanks again.